24 quotes about purity that every young and old Catholic should know. Impurity is plastered everywhere today. It intrudes on almost every aspect of our daily lives, even when we actively try to avoid it. So we can't just remain passive and expect to win the fight. We need to wage an offensive battle. We need the grace of God and role models to look up to. The following collection of quotes from various saints and doctors of the Church will provide you with the support and encouragement you need to stand your ground and fight for purity. But before we get started, please subscribe and click on the bell icon button to get new videos in the future. By subscribing, you'll help TFP Student Action build a network of young Americans to defend moral values. So here are 24 quotes that every young and old Catholic should know. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 8. Holy purity, the queen of virtues, the angelic virtue, is a jewel so precious that those who possess it become like the angels of God in heaven, even though clothed in mortal flesh. St. John Bosco. We must be pure. I do not speak merely of the purity of the senses. We must observe great purity in our will, in our intentions, in all our actions. St. Peter Julian Eymard. Those whose hearts are pure are the temples of the Holy Spirit. St. Lucy. We must practice modesty, not only in our looks, but also in our whole deportment, and particularly in our dress, our walk, our conversation, and all similar actions. St. Alphonsus Liguori. In the realm of evil thoughts, none induces to sin as much as do thoughts that concern the pleasure of the flesh. St. Thomas Aquinas. In Temptations Against Chastity, the spiritual masters advise us not so much to contend with the bad thought as to turn the mind to some spiritual, or at least indifferent object. It is useful to combat other bad thoughts face to face, but not thoughts of impurity. St. Alphonsus Liguori. Lust indulged became habit, and habit unresisted became necessity. St. Augustine. More souls go to hell because of sins of the flesh than for any other reason. Our Lady of Fatima. Filthy talk makes us feel comfortable with filthy action, but the one who knows how to control the tongue is prepared to resist the attacks of lust. St. Clement of Alexandria. The man of impure speech is a person whose lips are but an opening and a supply pipe which hell uses to vomit its impurities upon the earth. St. John Vianney. Either we must speak as we dress or dress as we speak. Why do we profess one thing and display another? The tongue talks of chastity, but the whole body reveals impurity. St. Jerome. A pure soul is like a fine pearl. As long as it is hidden in the shell at the bottom of the sea, no one thinks of admiring it. But if you bring it into the sunshine, the pearl will shine and attract all eyes. Thus the pure soul which is hidden from the eyes of the world will one day shine before the angels in the sunshine of eternity. St. John Vianney. The pure soul is a beautiful rose, and the three divine persons descend from heaven to inhale its fragrance. St. John Vianney. Chastity is the lily of virtues, and makes men almost equal to angels. Everything is beautiful in accordance with its purity. St. Francis de Sales. Humility is the safeguard of chastity. In the matter of purity, there is no greater danger than not fearing the danger. St. Philip Neri. Your good resolutions must not make you proud, but humble and diffident. You carry a large sum of gold about you, take care not to meet any highwaymen. In this life there is nothing certain. We are in a continual warfare, and therefore ought to be on our guard day and night. St. Jerome, Epistle to St. Eustochium. The state of grace is nothing other than purity, and it gives heaven to those who clothe themselves in it. St. Peter Julian Eymard. Chastity, or cleanness of heart, holds a glorious and distinguished place among the virtues, because she alone enables man to see God. Hence, truth itself said, "Blessed are the clean of heart, for they shall see God." St. Augustine. There is no remedy so powerful against the heat of concupiscence as the remembrance of our Savior's passion. In all my difficulties, I never found anything so efficacious as the wounds of Christ. In them I sleep secure. From them I derive new life. St. Augustine. God bestows more consideration on the purity of the intention with which our actions are performed than on the actions themselves. St. Augustine. He alone loves the Creator perfectly who manifests a pure love for his neighbor. St. Bede the Venerable. You carry your snare everywhere and spread your nets in all places. You allege that you never invited others to sin. You did not indeed by your words, but you have done so by your dress and your deportment. St. John Chrysostom. Let your modesty be a sufficient incitement, yea, an exhortation to everyone to be at peace on their merely looking at you. St. Ignatius of Loyola. So just remember that you're not alone in your fight for purity. You have so many saints on your side and 2,000 years of church teaching to back you up. To join the crusade for purity, please click on the link below to sign your purity pledge. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.